Okay, we are rolling. Okay. So if you see a clock behind me, which says 6:30 in the morning, please do not assume that I have woken up at 5 or 5:30. I have not slept the entire night. I was watching Never Have I Ever, and reading a book. Uh, so I was reading a book. So basically, when I said few days back that I made a thing called 21 days challenge and routine and everything, and I was very determined I'm gonna do it. For the first 4 days I did it. Fifth day I slept through it. Sixth day it's gone. It's been 5-10 days, 5 days I think after that, and although I've tried doing a couple of things, so for example, instead of going on walks, now I'm going for a jog. Although I'm not consistent, I'm doing that. And if I could tell you, I would rather say, and I completed 2 Udemy courses, fellas, 2 Udemy courses for this year, and I'm planning my certificate for a job. Although I do not feel very motivated as I did on the first 3-4 days, I think there's definitely something that is changing for sure. Although one day of that routine is not actually happening in that one day. It's human 3 days that it's taking me for getting it done, and I'm trying to work on that. And I've reset my 21 days counter and all that stuff. And so today is the day one of it all over again. I wanted to talk to you about the fact that so I said, right, out of in those 21 days ka challenge, there was this one book that I was reading. There was this one thing that talked about that I need to read a book, and I need to read 10 pages of a book every day. So I picked up a book on money, and I was trying to understand myself through money and everything, and I found myself not doing it, or rather inconsistently doing it. And that's when how do I say, that's when I want to talk to you about the series that I watched, Never Have I Ever. And I know it might sound like a very I don't know, like it's a teenage love story kind of a situation or whatever it is. I was watching it, and there's this one incident where there's this guy Ben who is taking up all the toughest of the classes, and he's taking up all of that, and he he talks to Devi, and she's like, okay, why are you taking all of these tough classes? I mean, you can just take 2 tough classes, and then the rest of them you can just easy peasy, like it should be easy and all that thing. And then I realized that maybe I am doing the same thing for myself. I mean, for me it's a dramatic shift from someone who is not even taking up a book to someone who is like reading a book, and then studying for the certification, and is also like doing the past learning and all that stuff. And I should make it easier for me rather than making it difficult for me. So if there are 3 things that I'm doing that I'm already struggling with, the 4th thing that I'm doing should not be something that I'm struggling with, and it should come out of love. For example, there was one more thing that I had added into my task, which was writing 5,000 words. Writing 5,000 words is not happening for me right now, and B, for me to write those 5,000 words, I have to think a lot about it, and all of my energy is going into it, and it doesn't make much of a sense. So instead of taking all the tough classes, I could let go of the tougher classes, some of the tougher classes, and find more relevance in them. So for example, what we have done now is that I have shifted that from there. So now the book that I'm reading is a book on the courage to be happy. It is relevant because I'm right now not in the best of the places that I should be. That's there. So I do need some kind of, I think, emotional support, and I think I do need, I need that not physical support per se, but I need emotional support, and I need someone who could just sometimes I feel like kind of physical support in a sense that I wish I had friends who would, just come up to me and say, okay, like, just hug it out and say that, okay, it's okay, it's completely fine and things are going to be fine. But well, considering that it's not happening, I think it's better to at least choose books or choose things that are some of them are easier and some of them are difficult. And the reason I'm also talking to you about this and also telling it, like, I think multiple times I've talked about this, I'm repeating it, I guess, is because I wanted you to know that in the pursuit of those 21 days challenge, or in whatever challenges that you take, make sure that you also have something that is comforting you and something that's easy for you, something that that's like, so for example, reading those 10 book chapters for me was like, okay, easy peasy. I read about it, I got it, this is what the person is talking about, it's just an hour of work, and I have already wrote about it. So I've written, I think, 700, 800 words, 1,000, I think, and I've written about it, and I think that's fine. I should not push myself for 5,000 words when there are other things also that I'm pushing myself for. And you should do it more out of love and stuff like that. So I think for the 21-day challenge, if you're doing a combination of multiple things, make sure that you choose few of them that are simpler. Okay, there's a reason that when you're graduating or when you're doing a BTech degree, not all subjects are difficult at one go. Like, it's, some of them are really complicated, some of them are easy, and that's the reason, that's probably the way of life. So don't push yourself in that way, is what I wanted to tell you about. And the other thing that I want to talk to you about is the fact that I'm reading this book, The Courage to Find Happiness, and it has opened up a lot of things in my head. I think the fact that one of the most important thing is the fact that I used to always think, why is that in the year 2014, 15, 16 I was feeling most alive, and why it's these 3 years that have made me feel everything and whatever. I kind of figured out that probably this was also the only time in my life when I was educating myself. And education is not just about reading a couple of books, it's about an overall education where I was trying to, I was going out for a walk, and I was trying to, understand my body, and then I was I was going through all these books that I was reading, and I was not just reading for a particular exam, I was reading like novels, and I was reading this thing, novels, and for my exam, and then I was also kind of in so many ways also understanding myself through writing. So I was educating and learning and things. I think maybe that is what also that I wanted to talk to you about, is that whatever I've read till now, I kind of figured out that life is actually about learning. And it's when you say, you're that cliche, I think proverb is there, right? Life is an ice cream, eat it before it melts. I think in some ways it is true. You need to experience life, and experiences come through education, and there could be different forms of education. You could travel the world, you can meet different people, or you could just sit at your place and just read about all those books. You could have different ways of educating yourself. You could educate yourself on different things. You could educate yourself on sports, you can educate it on math, science, whatever, be it that. But you gotta just keep doing it, and you gotta just keep educating yourself on different things, and because maybe that's what life is all about. Yeah, and I wrote about all of it in a blog. So I do write blogs and all, so I've written about it in my blog, and I would post a link of my blog below. Please do check out my blog and let me know if any of what I'm doing, or if what's happening is making sense to anybody of you. Peace out, fellas. Bye-bye.